Hey guys, happy New Year's Eve Eve. It's the 30th of December, and check out my new toy. It is a Boy Scouts wall tent. Legit to quit. Be prepared. And that's what I plan on doing, being prepared. So when I got this tent, it was sitting on a custom-made frame, and I plan on taking this across the country, so I mean I could make a frame for it out of tubing and weld it together and make some fancy joints and stuff, but I would rather just pack up a set of poles so everything could get stuffed in that trailer right there. So I just recently got done with the main pole set. Let's open this up here and take a look inside. Show you guys. Needless to say, if you guys have seen my other videos, I have a lot of irons in the fire right now. Let's take a look inside. Now, there's not too many videos on these, which is why I'm taking this video. Step into the office. You'll see I ripped these. These are actually 2x4s, ripped in half. Let's see if I can find the saw side. Here's the saw side. You can see the rip marks here. So ripped in half. This was a 2x4. And then I cut the corners on it with a hand plane. You know me, working with hand tools. These main poles are 80 inches tall. It's kind of dark in here already. But I made a ridge beam out of another ripped in half 2x4. Let me open the other flap. Maybe we'll get some light in here that way. So I got a couple issues here I want to talk to you guys about. First thing I did was to get this pole set made. There's a little more light in here now. That's good. So I made my pole, set it up, and there was a big droop in the middle. And I imagine I could set some guidelines at the front and back. See how I made these poles? They're a basically half lag bolt in the end grain, and then threaded rod. What do they call it? A hanger bolt, something like that. You can get them at Lowe's. There's an eyelet up here on each corner, front and back. So I figured I'd take advantage of that, but then it sagged really bad. So I figured, well, I better make a ridge pole, which I did. And then, well, how are you going to fix that on there? So I made some custom folding beam ends. So all three pieces pack up, and I throw a like a thing around it. I'll think of the word in a minute. A strap. Throw a strap around it, pack it up, boom, done. A boom. I also made some corner poles. Same deal. They're ripped 2x4s. And I was under the assumption, there's so little information about these online. I was under the assumption that you would take your corner pole and lace it into this corner. You see? Let me find one I didn't modify yet. Here. Okay, so I thought you would just take this pole inside and then lace it into this corner here. I back up a little bit so you guys can see. See, it's reinforced here in this corner, and I thought this pole would sit nice and neat. You'd lace this in here like this. It's so hard to do this with one hand. I really need a camera person. And then there you are. Well, maybe that will work. No. See, it slipped right off the corner. And that's what I was figuring. Like, this isn't going to work because you're going to have your corner line pulling down on that. Then you have this laced in here, and it's just going to want to... What's to keep it from just doing that? Nothing. So then I thought, well, maybe I can tie it into this corner here. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the same thing to these that I did to these here. Put a lag bolt in the end. It'll come up through. It'll come up through this here, and then I'll buy some eye bolts. But they're not. They're actually eye nuts. They're the female version of an eye bolt. And I'll thread that on there, and then I'll hook this into the corner poles, and then there you are. Then there's no way it can slip off or anything like that, and then I'll just lace these corners together. These are made like this, actually, oddly enough, so you can roll this end up and tie it. So you roll the ends up, you can roll the front and rear ends up, and then basically you're left with what amounts to a fly tent. I imagine if you wanted to just hang out of the weather, or if you wanted to sleep when it's just blazingly hot out, then there you go. So there's a lot of different ways you can set this tent up. The way I want to set it up is quickly. Let me fix this so it doesn't look stupid. There we go. Now it looks like a tent again. I want to set this up so it only takes me 10 or 15 minutes to set it up. I don't want to screw around with the corner poles and the lines and this and that, because I don't know how long we're going to have to set up and tear down at in the morning. So I want to get her done. One more thing I want to talk about before I kill this video for the night. If you find one of these, it's likely that you're going to run into this here. I'm going to replace these. I'm going to sew new ones in here. And here's one that I salvaged, and you can see they were originally yellow, blue and yellow, you know, the Boy Scout colors. At least some of the equipment was blue and yellow. The ends here look like they're dipped in wax, which would make sense for the period. They take a set whenever you play with them or bend them. Now, of course, it doesn't smell like anything anymore. This is probably, you're looking at probably a 50 or 60-year-old piece of fabric here. So I went to the local fabric store and got 4 yards of khaki colored. They didn't have yellow, or I would have used yellow. But then if I use yellow, then I'm going to have a couple of nice brand new looking ones and a bunch of sun-stained, sun-bleached straps like this. So as far as I can tell, these straps here are to secure this wall to the vertical pole, and this one, the inside of this, the same way. And then you can stake the bottom of the whole tent all the way around to keep the wind from blowing the tent around. These are the best investment. These are the best thing I've gotten for this tent so far. These are the Night Eyes paracord adjusters. They go in there. There's a spring-loaded cam here. You can just set these when you set your tent on the ground. Knock your pegs in the ground, and then just put a little bit of tension on these, just a tiny little bit. And then you raise your tent, and then you can just take the slop right out of these and adjust them right up. Great. They were like $6 a pair, so I mean, they're not from the Dollar Tree or anything, but I feel like most people could afford that. And of course I use the bright orange paracord, so nobody trips over these. Well, that's the best I can do to keep somebody from tripping over those. So that's that. Yep. Couple tiny itty bitty little holes in there I might have to sew patches in. But other than that, I think I have about 10 of these stupid straps to repair. I'd like to have it fixed. I'm going to take a count tonight and start working on these. I bought some oversized tea lights. And I'm going to set my oversized tea light. I'll show you what I got here. It's in this bag. So many irons in the fire. My ammo crate's done, by the way, except for I didn't find the right stencils that I like, so I got to look around. Maybe I have to order them online to get the nomenclature the right size, the letters the right size. I have ones that are too small, and I have a stencil set that's too big. And I'm not going to half-ass it. I want it right. So I got these oversized tea lights. Set one of those on the wood stove until all the wax melts. And then I'll take... This is what I got for the straps. It's close enough, but it's not ribbon. You know, you can't use ribbon. This is what do they call this? Twill ribbon, something like that. Molten wax on the wood stove. Dip it in. Boom. There's your end. It won't fray. I mean, I'm 90% sure it's wax. It's not glue because it's too malleable. Like, it's not hard like glue. You know what I mean? You have to be here to feel it. Sorry. But, so that's what I'm going to do. And if the wax doesn't work, then by golly, I'll just fold it over and stitch it across there by hand and then be done with it. So that's where we are with this story. I'll keep posting. Maybe I'll post one when I got these corner posts done. I'm going to have to order the eye nuts online because I can't find them anywhere. But that's where we are. If you're going to do this yourself, just do yourself a favor. And you know those little like 88-cent pies you get from Walmart? Those little like pumpkin pies, pecan pies. Take this and put it in that so you can grab it with a glove when you're done. Because I don't know how in the hell I'm getting that off there without spilling wax all over the stove. And that stove's hot. But here we are. Some wax-ended strappies. Boom. Done. Reason I know, I can attest to the fact they're wax because I took this original strap, touched it to the wood stove, and the wax in it started to melt. So we know it's wax.